Major Shah, we know that Sajid Premadasa has withdrawn from the presidential race. That basically leaves 2 to 3 candidates. Of course, it's Dullas and Vikramasinghe. All eyes are going to be on the two of them. What do you think lies in store ahead for Sri Lanka?
Well, the leadership has to be good. With the poor leadership, Vikramasinghe, held on 9th of this month, they burned the Prime Minister's residence when he was the Prime Minister, the same appointed as the interim president, to ensure smooth sailing of the governance thereafter. But also one more thing, actually, it is going to be a troubled time for Sri Lanka. Whoever takes over now will be wearing a crown of thorns, because it is going to be a very, very challenging task to come out of the crisis. And yes, it could be Ranil Wickremesinghe, not speculating, not guessing, but the way he threw the hat in the ring. And also, one more thing, he took a few steps in the right direction. I will give the devil the due, I would say, that he first priority was to ensure relief, ensure fuel prices, and to ensure the opening of certain things where Sri Lanka was lacking. So yes, he could be a choice there, Meenakshi.
Right, and what about Vikramasinghe? Do you think Vikramasinghe stands a chance? He's been highlighting his achievements, but we've seen, of course, massive protest against both Ranil Wickremesinghe and, of course, the former president of Sri Lanka, Rajapaksa.
Of course, yes, that also, now we are left with two names, and there is going to be a pick between the two. And both are equally good or bad, as you may call it. Both have equal support, equal opposition, if you may call it. So now, whoever in these few days are very, very crucial. Whoever makes a mark now, the public sympathy would go towards that person, actually.
All right, Mr. Shah, stay with us. We're also being joined by my colleague Yash. Yash, take us through the latest. Premadasa had already assured the people that he is out of the presidential race. Who are the main candidates against or amongst whom we can see, of course, a tough fight for the post of the next president of Sri Lanka? Okay, we seem to have lost that line with Yash. We'll go back to Yash. We have more breaking news coming in. This is also from Sri Lanka. So the next breaking news coming in is regarding the High Commission of India, which is in Colombo. They've released an advisory to all the Indians who are living in Sri Lanka. The statement reads, and I quote, amidst the current situation in Sri Lanka, Indian nationals in Lanka are requested to remain aware of the latest developments and accordingly plan their movements and activities if required. Indian nationals can contact us. That's the latest advisory which has been issued by the Lankan government. I'm not too sure if Yash is still live with us. Okay, I believe Yash is not live with us. Major Shah is still with us. Major Shah, Indian government, of course, doing all it can to help all the nationals who are there in Sri Lanka, because reports were coming in that people were leaving Sri Lanka, they were trying to leave the country. They've asked the people to remain aware of the latest developments. What's your reaction on that, first of all?
As the High Commission of India in Colombo has rightly put up this tweet and the notification that the Indians who are planning their travel should be aware of the ground situation, because unfortunately what we saw sometime back, Mr. Vivek Verma, who is the director of the Indian Visa Center, he was assaulted and he suffered these injuries and a fractured hand, and because relationship with Sri Lanka has always been cordial and friendly, and Sri Lanka is a friend. They're like a younger brother to us. There are so many Sri Lankans who are in India, so many Indians who are there in Sri Lanka. So yes, it doesn't it's not in good taste, but it could be one of, and it's the first time it's happened. So the Indian authorities have taken up.
Indian authorities
the
doing
matter.
all they can, certainly. Major Shah is also live with us. Major Shah, Yash is of course bringing us all the updates from Lanka. But when we speak of the statement which was made by S. Jaishankar, the External Affairs Minister, of course the point to be noted, which many parties would have taken note of, is S. Jaishankar warning other political parties, saying that the culture of freebies, that's something which we should be very clear attack on certain politicians, certain political parties who have been reaping electoral benefits by providing doles to the people.
Okay, Meenakshi, I will answer it in this way. One is that you feed somebody fish. Or the other is you teach the person how to catch fish, which would be more beneficial in the long run. Of course, when you teach someone how to catch fish, then that person can catch fish and feed himself for the rest of his life. But whereas if you give something like inheritance, if you inherit a property or if you inherit wealth, it does not last. A gift, easy come, easy go. When you have worked, when you have struggled for it, it lasts, it stays on. So when you talk about freebies, it can be temporary, all right, but it has to have a lasting effect. So it has to sustain you forever. That's the whole point, actually.
Even in the backdrop of Prime Minister Narendra Modi taking potshots at certain parties over the same, calling it quote-unquote Revdi culture, we'll have to wait and watch if it turns into a huge political war of words. For now, thank you, Major Shah, for joining us on the broadcast.